if you go back to, I guess, 2014 or whenever before we started, right? Knowing what you know now and how the process is and what you went through as far as studying is concerned, would you do what you did, like your course and how it was set up between work and education, or would you? Because I've been thinking, if I did an internship, not an internship, it was an apprenticeship, just in like the field that I want to be in, I think you'd get a lot further in that field, but lacking the diversity to like branch out maybe. But nowadays, I feel like it'd be easy enough anyway, just to like to pivot.
The landscape has definitely changed. Like, I would definitely do what I did back then. Like, I was
What
the
did you do, by
first
the way? Like, you did
a degree apprenticeship.
Yeah.
I was the first set of guinea pigs. So the first 60 people that ever did it in the UK. We were the first cohort that.
Actually, that was the first year. Because I remember.
Yeah,
we had the assembly or whatever it was that they were like, oh, by the way, you can now, because the RAF came to school. You remember?
Yeah, I think so.
And they were like offering degree apprenticeships, and then they were like,
no, they didn't offer that. So the only one that was ever offered was the one I did for the first year, and they were like, this is the trial run. If this works, cool, we'll rubber stamp this in.
Well, who was the head? Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so the government was like, we're going to try this. This is the people, and there was different companies that signed up to do it. We were the first 60 people, and it was like, if this works and you guys pass out this first year and it doesn't turn into like a complete mess, we'll continue this. And then the next year onwards, I was like, this is amazing. And ever since then, they've just like trained, like, you can get a law degree doing a degree apprenticeship like this now. Like, all sorts. It's crazy. I'd definitely do it. I think, without disrespecting anyone that I've ever spoke to at the time of my degree, some of my professors were absolutely jokes. They knew who they are after they ever listened to this. I would definitely do it again, because I don't think, my opinion, the degree itself, not specifically the degree I did, but I mean the degree itself was worth the money that you pay for it.
Yeah, it's a status thing. It's not.
Yeah, 9K. Is it still 9K? Is it 9K and like 100 quid or something?
Dude, I paid like 5.
Yeah, but that was back then. It's 9K now.
No. It was 9K then. So we're talking about what you did, right? I'll tell you what I did later.
All right, go on. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But continue. Sorry.
So yeah, it was 9K then. I think it's 9K now. Maybe it's more. I don't know. It was not worth the 9K. Like, you would pay for the experience and obviously you'd meet people and the lifestyle and whatnot. Cool. But in terms of the content of what it is and what you come out of it, I probably used like less than like 5% over my career of what I learned. Like, I learned more and quicker in the job that I was doing at the same time. Yeah. And I was then applying that in a degree as opposed to learning what I did in the degree and applying it to the job. There may be different sectors that it wouldn't apply like that, like electronics, engineering. Maybe there would be some where it would be flipped. It'd be like, what did you do? Like, if you, in the degree?
What do you mean? Sorry, what do you mean?
So there would be a lot more, like electronics and engineering, there's a broader spectrum of knowledge that you need to know for it. Whereas like computer science is like, cool, this is how I started programming. And then you can easily chew away
work on the job. Yeah, you don't need, it's not like being a doctor where you need to like understand medicine from a fundamental point of view, or I don't know, what would you call it? Theory.
Or you wouldn't just let nurse, like someone, exactly. They wouldn't just let you go stabbing people.
Well, you say that. But I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people, there's different types of nursing, right? There's different types of jobs within a hospital. Some of them are like, this person only knows how to jab people, right? You don't need a medicine degree to jab someone for a vaccine. We learned that, Louis. We all learned that. It's just whoever's willing to volunteer, hey, you do a crash course or whatever, and then you administer injections for this certain vaccine. But then after that, you're not allowed in the hospital, mate. You're not qualified for it. But so regardless of, you'd want someone to have the fundamentals of that. But you're right. In certain other fields like electronics, you also want someone to have a fundamental understanding from the theory point of view of how electronics work. And then go on to start working and doing things like kind of on the job. But yeah, as a programmer, heck, I know a lot of people that have programming jobs. The first day of their job, didn't even know what Python was, but they were able to like learn as they got on. Do you know what I mean? They were able to understand what they need to do, and then by just asking questions and trial and error, eventually they were like a skilled programmer. But it's like you didn't need, as long as you understand basic maths and basic, like, I don't know,
Programming
statements.
principles, stuff like that.
Even that, it doesn't have to be programming. You know what I mean? Just like, there's just the science of, like, what are those things called? Statements. If you understand, like, input, output, and then what you get at the end of it, and then loops, like in if or else statement. You know what I mean? If else, if you understand those things, if you could make Scratch, the cartoon thing, you can be a programmer. Like,
that's the fundamentals of programming.
Yeah, but I'm taking it away from just programming. Like circuits when we did in school, like the light bulb thing. Like if it hits this strip, that's a conductor.
Game over, GG.
And then it will light up the bulb. If it doesn't, then, you know, if you understand that, and you see programming languages, you get it. Trial and error.
Side note.
If you don't get that, you're going to have a hard time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Side note.
I was going to make a joke about it being in series and parallel.
Joke. Oh, okay. Right.
It won't worth it. It won't worth it. That's why I tried to bury it in the corner, and you were like, "Nah."
You just said side note, so that is in my head. Sorry, you should have done that. Like, cut. No, ignore me. Okay, so yeah, like this is obviously. I'm also, from your point of view, looking at it from what would I have done for where I am, and I feel like not working, but a degree apprenticeship or just an apprenticeship. Forget the degree. Would have got me to where I am quicker, but I don't think it would have been able to move on to other things. But like I said, if you're able to learn and understand how the world works or how technology works, and you like applying yourself, you can easily pivot, and you will learn skills within wherever you are that are going to help you pivot to something else. And if you can apply yourself between jobs, get a certificate, or even just do things by yourself, depending on what it is. So if you want to be a programmer, just make an app. And then if like you were, I don't know, electric engineer, or I don't know, if you were in databasing, and then you apply for a job for a programmer, but you have experience, or you have a GitHub account that's showing all the things you've been doing. Somebody will be like, okay, this guy has basic understanding. No, industrial understanding of databasing, and has had personal time understanding programming principles. You probably want to hire that person. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I wouldn't let a DBA loose on my production code, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, but
I'm getting into the weeds of it, but yeah, I was going to make a joke, but
so that was all. My point being is,
it's transferable.
I feel like, yeah, no, it's not, because those hard skills you learn from work-related courses that force you to work, you cannot get those skills in just a normal course, unless you're one of those people that apply themselves to do an internship in between, which I was forced to. So in my course, the reason why it was cheaper was it was meant to be like honors only for like people working already. I did applied IT, they called it, which is basically computer science with a little bit of business. So 70% computer science and like 30% business studies. And most of my like classmates were all like people working in the industry that needed like an extra honors year just to like jump to the next stage, to either get a pay bump or to pivot to a different a different field within tech. So a lot of people were working in admin, but needed like a year doing, I don't know, databasing, or a year doing programming, or a year doing what was that main one that they used to do?
Networking?
Yes. Security. No, it was security, because networking was, I don't know why we did security first and networking after, but I felt like it should have been backwards. But whatever. Because at the time it was like security. Remember, even now, cybersecurity, the buzzword. So first year they teach everybody that, because they knew that a lot of people doing the honors, the 1 year, would need that, or it would help them. And then everybody else doing the actual degree, doing the other 2 years, they would do networking the year after, and then the third year, final year, was like networking plus. Because that's when you like, now you're opening up Cisco books and trying to like configure Cisco routers and whatever. And then that's also our thesis. I didn't do I don't even know what it's called, Louis. The end of year thing. What you guys call it?
Not a dissertation.
Dissertation. No, yeah. Dissertation.
No, it's not. That's for a PhD. Dissertation.
No, a thesis is for a PhD.
Are we just getting the wrong word though?
But that's my point. Did you do one?
With my degree apprenticeship, I had to do a final project, which was like a full on like enterprise project.
Yes,
a presentation. No, I had to do a presentation on something else. No, on something else. It was a whole module specifically for a presentation.
Me too. Yeah,
and
we're
then,
gonna get into.
What was the other thing?
But you didn't write like a 20-page thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, lol.
Yeah.
I had a choice: either present a Internet of Things project, and actually no, you're right. I had to write, but it wasn't a dissertation or thesis. It was just like an essay, like coursework to me. Everybody was. I don't even know what the word count was for dissertations. I had to do like 5K.
A dissertation is a large research project taken at the end of a degree. So I guess we did do dissertations.
Yeah. So mine was like a half dissertation and then like a project that was like in front of 2 researchers or lecturers. Basically like what not a Viva. Actually, like, because Vivas are for what? For masters? We have to like defend a Viva. You have to defend like your work.
I think that's a PhD now.
One of them. So I did like a mixture of dissertation, Viva, end of year project. Well, I had to write something based on something else that's more theory based, and then practical. I had to like actually, I don't know. I did like a tracker, not a tracker. It was like a thermostat reader that allowed like all of the electronics in the building to. No. It was a humidity and temperature reader that changed temperatures depending on what you set on an app. So then it was like there was a back end database, there was a front end physical application. That's when I got into Raspberry Pis. Remember when I asked you like, hey, what Pi should I get? And then you were like, mate, I've been doing this for fun like for the past 10 years. And I'm like, all right, Louis is my best friend from now on. So then
was that it?
Also the uni were able to, they bought, it was mad cheap for them to like buy his Raspberry Pi. So they got us like whatever at the time that was that. I think the Bs came out, the smaller ones. Raspberry Pi
the
B.
4s?
Yeah, was it 4? There was a B.
Or are you talking about the Freeze? I think it might have been the Freeze then.
2018, whatever that was.
Yeah, probably.
So they got a bunch of those, and then there was Arduinos as well, I think it's called. They had a bunch of those, and it was just like, listen, get as many components as you can get, make a physical application, connect it to a back end, and then have like an input-output, and then IoT was, again, buzzwords, right? They're trying to get us... Because again, my course was based on half the people here are already in the industry trying to pivot, and the other half of you, whatever you learn here, you're going to apply it, and it's going to help you get a job. So it's like cybersecurity, IoT were the big words. They didn't even call it computer science. They kept calling it applied IT because it's like you're applying yourself. But it was computer science and business. Business as well. They kept adding business studies and business to the course, but it's like whatever, which is fun because the reason I even know you was IT and business, right? So I just kept, that's what I kept doing. And then it kind of helped because then everything we did was always for like, there's a stakeholder that wants this. It was never just you as a person, as a student, creating this fun. It was like, you have to sell this to stakeholders and then to employees or customers, sorry. So then it's going to be the use case was employees, users. The upper use case was who's going to buy this and who's going to keep it going. So stakeholders need to get a stake. They need a reason to believe in this. And then also who is it going to affect? So the local community in this company, you had to like think about that kind of stuff. It was crazy. I was like, wait, I've never thought about if I apply this toy or this remote control for temperature, and then that company, wherever they are, how is this going to impact their sales and how is it going to impact the community around them? I had to think about these things. So then it's like when I went into interviews later on, and somebody's like, oh, how would you change this for a company? I'll be like, this would be sick. Also, you should like care about the surrounding community and how's it going to affect them. And then everybody will be like, wait, what the hell? No one's ever cared about how our inputs and outputs as a company affects our neighbors. And it's like, it should matter. Like, because people, when Amazon opens a warehouse in a neighborhood, everything changes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it changes the trajectory of like what's important in that neighborhood and the workforce that's going to be in that neighborhood and the transport too, because they will build a roundabout near that. That's going to, do you know what I mean? Like, is this a warehouse and they own most of like importation and exportations in the, like they have, there's Asda and now there's B&M on this side. All of those roads are literally designed and have helped become a hub to travel in and out, go into anywhere else because of warehouses being built. So like everything a company, like a big corporation does, can change how the outlook of a city looks. And it's just like an important factor. So I'd have those kind of things that we have to think about in every course, Louis. It didn't matter what it was. Every module we had always like a business statement. We'd have to write a business case. There was a business case and then something else case for everything we did. So nothing I touched and did wasn't related to like, why would a company want this and what's the point? And then after that, there's always be like what are these words? Like a conclusion kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah, we had peer reviews and we also had reviews for like somebody would pretend, one of the researchers or lecturers would pretend that they're a company. And then it would be like, okay, what have you done? What's your proof of concept? And then like, what have you sold to me? Which is ironic because now in my day-to-day job, I work half and half with proof of concepts. And it is that kind of thought process of, okay, whatever we're going to build here, we're always thinking of end user and how it's going to benefit them. And also what are they going to say? How are they going to see this? And how they're going to like use it. Because it's not just about creating a good app. It's also like creating something feasible and something that other people that aren't technical they're the ones that are going to drive this. They're the ones going to use it. They're the ones that are going to sell it. So it has to be like a midpoint of like, why are we doing this? Not just do it, which is also why my thought process when it comes to tech is never always just engineer. It's always, okay, but then why? Like, what does this do? Where does it go? Where's it coming from? And who's going to like fund it? And then also, who's it going to help? And then what's the use case? So, and then I think my final year was like the quietest year because all of them left, got better jobs because they pivoted. But then some of them chose to opt to finish the degree because once you get like the first honors and then like you get extras for the second year, they could then ask you like, oh, do you want to just do a degree? Just do one more year, and then you'd have like all the honors that equal a degree. You have to pay more, of course. But then because of that, it wasn't 9K, it was 5 for each year. And then if you do the last year, then you just pay 15 in total, not 21. And then you've got a degree and then you go about your day. And it was just a madness. I was like, rah. So that's also probably why I've never even checked what my student finance is because I was like, okay, I'm paying less than everybody else anyway. So this is what it was. But it was 9K though. It wasn't. I just had to remember that because every time somebody would mention 9K to me, I'd be like, why are you paying 9K? Then I realized, oh yeah, no, mine wasn't 9K. It was 5. But it was still part of the faculty and everything else, and it was just like it got all the benefits. So, but that's my point. It's just a status thing. So if you don't like actually know what, if I don't know how many times have you ever had to show your what's it called, the certificate you got on graduation to a company?
They'd ask that, what qualification you have? Like, a degree.
Yeah.
Maybe I think only one of them, one of my background checks, they're like, can you show us? The other one was like, yeah, we can verify this already.
Right. There is a database somewhere, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, things have changed in the last like decade, right? So
yeah,
there's things that they can go on and it's like, yeah, cool, you have a degree.
But that's but do they even check like what you studied, like for real, or like what you got? I used to put everything on there. Like I used to put percentages I got in like certain modules. Depends again if you're tailoring it towards a company that you want to work for. So if you're like, if it's a security company in your security module, you put like, oh, I got 80% in my security module. I failed the programming one, but you don't care about that. But yeah, I think I'd do something more work-based. I'd do something that you did, or just an apprenticeship, and then pivot later on if I wanted to. Just like either go back to school or go through an internship again, and just yeah.
It shifted. What it used to be was to working most of these jobs like to be like to do programming and whatnot. It's like, oh, you have to have a degree and you have to work there for like 5 years, blah, 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 and done all this sort of stuff. Whereas now it's like, I did an apprenticeship or I did a boot camp. I did this. I've got this portfolio. I've done this. I've done that. I've got an apprenticeship. I've passed this. I've done
camps.
That.
Yeah.
I think half of them are rip-offs. All you need is YouTube. You're kind of good.
But that's the thing.
There's many programming platforms out there that you can learn as well. They have there's GitHub repositories that people have set up that mimic coding interviews and all sorts. Like to pay 5K for a boot camp. I don't mean this in a bad way, but I think you're an idiot. That's part of
the status thing again, right? Is like you can self-teach this thing, but those boot camps have now also become kind of facilities to validate. Like, okay, we're an institution that does do fast tracking. So if that's who we are and we're established, we can stamp people like they've done this boot camp. You're right, Louis. You can just go on YouTube and learn everything for like 3 months. But if it's in a structured environment and it's stamped by a company that decided that that's what they're going to do now, companies are more likely to be like, okay, we know somebody that graduated from this boot camp and now you have too. So like word of mouth kind of thing. So, it just validates things. And that's back to the point, like all of these things can be done in different avenues. It's just once the stamp is on there, like what uni you went to and how great it's supposed to be, or like what boot camp company you worked for or did, what certifications you got, like the higher the name is, the more popular the name is, the easier it is for him to be filtered for like employment and people looking for that. Or nowadays for AI, right? They'll be like, we only want people who went to these unis, did this boot camp and studied this, and then it just filters it, and then you don't even get seen.
If it doesn't matter what uni you go to.
Smart. It does.
It doesn't. Nowadays,
no, I agree with you, Louis, but it does. Like in the real world, it does. It does matter.
No, because there's some unis that have specific courses that are better than others. Like before, it's like, I went to Oxford, I went to Cambridge, and did this, did that.
But how many?
At the same time, like, go on.
How many companies like know that and care to know that?
Many of them. Like the people that I've done.
Yeah.
Like multiple dozens of people. Multiple dozens. Dozens. I just say dozens, idiot. Dozens of people that I've done. Like I've been hiring for in specific roles, and say like there's been probably like 24 people, and they've mentioned a boot camp. Couldn't even tell me simple programming principles, and they're applying for like senior positions. They couldn't tell me like what the difference between like a while and a do while loop.
Yeah,
it's like where would you use one of them? But you've been to a boot camp, you're rubber stamped. It's just trash. I won't say that for every one of them. I'm sure there are some good ones, and for some people, maybe it's just a quick, fast way to get a structured introduction to something. Because I don't know, I don't want to say you're lazy. You wouldn't want to go find out a playlist on YouTube or what the specifics are, but you can probably just go to ChatGPT and be like, "Yo, generate me a learning plan to understand the core concepts of programming if I was trying to apply for like a mid-level programming job." It'd spit you out everything. Like, cool, I need this topic. Go find the content.
But you're thinking like Louis. People don't think that way.
90% of people are just lazy.
They
want
structure,
the quick here right now.
It's actually, this is deeper level, but we're here.
They're falling on their face.
Same with anything in life, right? A lot of people need structure. They need a principle to live by and to follow, because otherwise they'd just be not lost, but they wouldn't have a purpose. So these institutions, or like even just uni in general, is like, hey, we've given you what to follow, and at the end of this, you should be good at whatever it is you want to be good at. And then everybody else will have like validation for like, okay, they did this, they're good at this. Or like, you went to church I've been going to church for 10 years. Like it shouldn't matter how long you've been going for. But people use those words because it means something to people that make it mean something. Do you know what I mean? Okay, that makes you more devoted. Does it? Versus also, I've been studying this for 10 years and I don't know, I've been in this security role. Like that, people are like, oh no, he's tenured, like 10 years. But yeah, you're right. Me and you go into a room with these people and it's like, the world changed every 2 years. What do you mean you've been doing the same thing for 10 years? That's useless now.
Bro, we're not programming COBOL anymore.
Like, what the hell? But most people, these validations that we have in society, it still holds weight. And the more we try to change it, the more a lot of people, the masses, are still adopting these things.
It's not society. It's the hiring game inside of not just IT. I think it's everywhere, but the whole concept of hiring.
Yeah.
Nah, it's
that's
not
what I'm
society.
saying. It's deeper than just hiring for me. It's also just a way of life. Like validation in certain aspects trumps. Oh no, it doesn't trump it. It puts you ahead of people. But like, you wouldn't know who's skilled until you get into the nitty gritty of the role. And then you're like, oh, this guy knows nothing. Just went to a high level like school or had this boot camp validation sticker.
Yeah.
And
that's why the hiring game is crap, because you should be able to find out before you've hired them.
Yes, but then you're going to call with a client that does the same role as you from a different company, and then this guy's a genius, and you're like, wait, what school did you go to? And he's like, what school? This company luckily hired me, and I just like YouTubed everything, and now I know more than everyone. So then it's like, then they get hired, but then it's never like, okay, are we now going to look for people that learn from YouTube? No, you're not. you're still gonna, as a company, look for people that went to an institution, like, you know, as like part of their learning curve or like structure, because it's not like, I mean, I don't know, if you have a company, Louis, and you need to hire 2 devs, 2 database engineers, and then some salespeople, I don't know, and some admin.
Database engineer.
How are you? What's your thought process, and how are you going to like go about finding who's best for those roles? This is like from the get go, because later on it changes, right? Because then you need like people now, because later on it becomes, you can streamline and you can have somebody like shift through you, and then
if I need people now,
desperate.
They would be allowing me to onboard contractors for a short time period whilst I'm finding the right permanents. If they don't allow me to do that, then the company's screwed. Like,
okay, let's say they do.
You need the people now, or you don't need the people now. There's no in between. So if you need people now, I can get contractors in that I can hire
that's
tomorrow
why I
and
said
fire
that.
on Friday.
No. So I want what you do now, and then we'll talk about what you do later. So now,
what do you mean now?
You need 2 devs right now. Where you?
I need 2 devs right now, like absolutely mission critical. I'd get 2 contractors.
From where?
Multiple platforms, people I know, network. There's many avenues I'd go down.
Okay. What?
Yeah.
But like, you need, okay, by tomorrow morning. So what are you calling a friend?
I don't know. It depends. Depends what the sector is, what the work is, the pay. There's many variables in that.
Health. We're building an app. I don't know, Louis.
For those parameters, I probably wouldn't have anyone that would want to answer that phone call.
Right. So that's okay, good. So, but you still need someone for tomorrow morning. The hospital needs this app, Louis. And it needs a database.
Well, the fact that they need an app tomorrow morning, I wouldn't go to the hospital.
It's not a great hospital, is it, Louis? But you've been paid.
I'll be done.
You've signed the contract. You didn't know this. They lied to you. You're trapped now. So you have to go ahead with it.
If I've signed a contract under false pretenses, I'm suing them. What do you
Louis,
mean?
Know what you need to say, but you don't want to say it. Where are you going, Louis, to find these 2 people for tomorrow morning?
I mean, there are multiple platforms. You can put like Indeed, LinkedIn. Like there's like there's many of them. I don't want to give them shout outs because they're all trash.
But yeah, that's we're here. What are you like? What are you looking for on these resumes, CVs? Been Americanized, sorry.
Well, specifically for that. So people that have experience with the health sector, people that have experience with app development, and then there would be a lot more criteria.
They need
for
a
that.
health sector experience, you said.
Well, if they're dealing with like PCI level 2 sort of, sorry, not it probably wouldn't be processing. What's the UK's health directive? The thing that you've got to abide by in terms of like confidentiality with medical data.
Gotcha. Yes, I don't know what it is. I know what you mean.
Yeah, so they would need to know what that is, and they would have to understand that, because to let a developer loose on an app and then accidentally leak in a backdoor to an API that is now exposing everyone's data.
Of the people on LinkedIn and Indeed right now, you're looking at 10% of developers that probably have that experience. That
probably
might
less,
be available
but
tomorrow.
yeah.
Probably, actually, I'm
yeah.
Right. So you want experience in the health sector. You also said you want what was the other thing you said?
Oh, you'd have to have app development, and then there would be specific criteria under that. So what language, what frameworks, what we're working on, where's it getting deployed? Is it an internal app or is it a public app?
Say we're using C or Python, I don't care. So they need C experience.
You wouldn't write an app in either of them, but sure.
Wait, like, I'm thinking, right, so what would, like, I don't know what app are you thinking of?
When you say app to me, I mean application is in like mobile application.
Oh, right. I just meant like an application.
You mean a piece of software that has a GUI that you would use on like a desktop. Cool. So that's different. That's completely different. It's an application.
It's a desktop app. It doesn't. So okay, now we're getting specific. That's good. That's good. So we want a desktop application, right, with a GUI. So those are experiences that they need to have as well.
Mm.
You don't just want someone that can use languages. You want someone that's specific to what we're building.
Well, in that case, I don't know. So you could technically have someone that doesn't have health experience. It's just working on like the GUI part.
See?
Of it. Cool. Can you design this? Can you do that? How have you got me?
Because that's my point. Like, a lot of these things don't matter. It's just, what do we need to do, and can this person do it? And back to my point of, you're going to figure out that somebody else, like, you don't have to meet all of these demands if you don't have time. When you have time, then your demands are more, you're going to be more selective, right?
No, in the situation that we'd have, I would get one guy in as a contractor, like, you do the designing whilst I'm looking for the guy that knows to do like the actual implementation of the logic, that knows the whole thing.
If that guy or girl that you get in is good enough for their job, why would you replace them? After the contract is up, you'd be like, I've had one, now you have
because that guy's for the GUI. Like, to have like a guy that only
I
knows
thought you meant
the GUI.
for the GUI, you'd find a replacement for the GUI guy.
No, so the guy would create the GUI, and then I would find the guy that knows how to do a bit of the GUI, but knows how to do all the health stuff with the back end. Okay. Yeah, so then the GUI guy's gone. Like, why would I keep him?
No, but in that time that they're working, what if they show that they know what they're doing and they can learn quickly?
So this is where you get into the weeds of, like, because you're paying for a contractor, what's the time frame that you've got? If you've only got them for
6 months.
So you got them for 6 months.
Yeah.
If they're willing to do the learning and it won't take that much, then maybe you keep them a bit longer.
Just learning on the job, right?
Yeah, but it'd weigh up between, like, how long is it going to take you to learn versus I can get another guy in tomorrow that does this.
That's very true. But then it's cheaper to keep her, Louis.
No, it's not, because contractors cost you more.
Technically, yeah. Well, if they're not getting benefits.
They cost you more in the long run.
Yeah, no. In the long run?
Yeah, if you weighed up what it costs for a permanent employee versus a contractor for the same time scale, a contractor would cost you more on average.
Without the benefits.
Contractors don't get benefits.
That's my point. But if we add those in, who's costing you more? No,
contractors, like, unless your company's really good and they pay additional stuff, 9 times out of 10 they don't get benefits.
Still. Yeah, no, that's my point. But, like, your a full-time employee does get benefits, so you have to factor those costs in, right?
Yeah, I am factoring those costs in. A contractor will still cost more.
Well, also depends on how much you're paying them. Like, if you're paying them more, then yeah. But if you're not, they were desperate, you were desperate. It just is what it is, right?
Yeah, if I desperately needed a contractor that knew what they were talking about, I would be paying more money for them. You wouldn't be getting them for the same, like, low rate you'd get the equivalent of how much a permanent employee would cost. It wouldn't. You'd be wasting time and money.
Sure, I'm not going to argue that. But back to the whole point was those, like, when there's time to find things and when there's time for you to look as well, where you went to, all of these, what you did and how you did it comes into factor. But when there is no time and there is just like, I need somebody today for this now, there's more room for, okay, what's your experience? Do you have an idea of this? Let's just get you in and then we'll figure things out. And I feel like...
I don't agree with that.
You don't have to.
Yeah,
that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to, Louis. But you don't agree with if there's no time to, like, sift through things, you just go with what's in front of you?
Not with contractors, no. If I wouldn't just hire some random guy because he says he's done a GUI before.
Okay, but that's never happened in real life, Louis?
What do you mean?
That people have never done that in real life. Hired someone because they've said that they had experience for something and then later on find out they don't. Louis, it's happened in real life. It happens a lot. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but there was...
That's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So some guy that says he can do the GUI, that's compared to another guy that if I can just spend 2 days going through different possibilities that can do back end and some other stuff, I would spend the 2 days.
Yeah. And again, let me just... Overall, all I'm saying is you can get someone to the door that doesn't showcase much of what you need long term, but what you need now, and then late in that process, they can figure out, or you can figure out that actually this person's good long term, so you won't have to look for a long term option, or you figure out that they're not, so then we're going to, like, look for someone to replace you with. The other option is, okay, you've got your 2 people in, right? One of them, like you said, has health experience. The other person is just good with GUIs. I think that's how you said it. You're developing, making the app, whatever. I don't actually care what it is, Louis, at this point. It could be the greatest thing ever. It could be the worst. I don't care. You're destroying the national health system, which they were trying to do anyway. So you're helping out with what the government wants to do. So now you're like 3 months in, and now you do want, one of the people is actually like great, and the other person maybe is lacking 2 of the things that you need. Now we want a long-term option, right? And now you have as much time as you want to look for the perfect candidate. that process changes a little bit, right? Because you're going to be more, now you know what you're doing too, and they know. I mean, like you understand like the nature of the job and also what these people are lacking or what they have. So you're probably going to try and model it off of the person that's actually doing great. And as a human being, you might look at that person like, hey, what did they have? How did they get to where they got to? So you might be more open to, okay, this person went to this uni, or the great person didn't go to uni, they went to YouTube. So you might be more selective of, actually, we don't care that much about the degree part because the person that's doing great doesn't even have a degree. They just have experience. So we might opt for looking for people that didn't even, whatever. But what would you do? At that point? Now you have a limited time. What are some of the key points you look for in a person?
Well, after I'd got the 2 contractors and we were already doing the work, I'd be having someone else continually looking for the permies at the same time.
It wouldn't be you, but you'd obviously, I'm hoping you'd advise the...
Yeah, I'd give them certain criteria, like they need to have X, Y, and Z, yeah.
Yeah, what's X, Y, and Z, Louis?
Whatever was needed for the job.
Okay. But does institutions...
There's a base set of criteria that you look for in any person, any resource, like the ability to get on with the work, the ability that they know what they know, and then even if they don't know something, they know how to get that. They have the ability to...
Someone you
well, simply like you're like, cool. How do you build a JavaFX GUI? Right? They're like, I haven't done that, but I've used these frameworks in Python. I would go look at this or go look at that. Cool. You've got the time to prove yourself. You've got 2
someone
days
on their CV. Let's say you're using JavaFX, right? Again, it's not related to, but you wouldn't put that into like your job description.
Yeah, it would be on the job description. So if it was specifically that tech.
Yeah. So they've all the people that you're looking at now. You've got time, right? You're only sifting through people that have that certain skill or certain experience, like there. How would you prove?
No, I would say this is our tech stack. Tell us what you know in comparison to this, and what your skill set is a normal resources, and then we can talk. Okay,
so they have those things in their tech stack too. Or they say they have them, but how do you prove that it's true before you hire them?
Oh, so we would be going through a technical questions. I'd give them a set of technical questions, and their answers to that would be I guess 1 round. Another one would be like a full-on technical interview. We would go through it in person. They'd tell me what they do. So I'd give them a scenario and be like, look, we're building app X. We need to do X, Y, and Z. Tell me what you do. Right. And we would whiteboard it out live on a call or in a person with a whiteboard.
Yeah. It's pandemic, you'd Zoom if it's in person. So you'd get them in. So you'd be doing this maybe, I don't know, once a week, try get somebody in, or once every other week. But they adhere to your tech stack, they adhere to your experience, and they adhere. But so would you care about institutions, where they studied, how long they've been working for in other companies? Would that factor in experience or?
I guess kind of if you went to a catering college to get a degree in programming, I'd be very worried.
Why, Louis?
Well, if you've gone to a catering college and you've come out of a programming degree, that's not a catering college. You've been scammed or something. What do you mean? A catering college, you would be going there to learn how to cook and bake and whatever. If you come out of a programming degree, what?
So
did they stamp you with the wrong code?
So you do have certain institutions. It has to be a STEM university or related. It has to have a well-known or well-regarded computer science faculty.
No, it's the concept of
but what if
data makes sense.
What if that kid in the catering college is a genius? How would you know?
No. So I couldn't care less if he went to a catering college.
Yeah.
I care more that he says he got a programming degree from the catering college.
But that's because he went to the catering college.
Catering colleges don't offer programming degrees.
Well, yeah, but imagine if they did, Louis.
But they don't. That's the whole point. That's what I'm saying. If it was a clear lie and it was made up because it doesn't exist,
it doesn't make it doesn't make the cut. Your filtering process shouldn't give that CV to you.
Yeah, so I couldn't care less if he said he went to Oxford or if he went to the University of Edinburgh and said he got a computer science degree.
Wow,
I couldn't care less.
What are we saying about Edinburgh? Why was Edinburgh catching this? I'm kidding.
Bro, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so the institution doesn't matter to you. As long as it's not obviously...
Subconsciously, I'd probably rate you more if you went to the University of Edinburgh than you did for the University of Oxford. subconsciously, I'd
why
probably
is that,
rate you
Louis?
more.
I gotcha. I got him, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. Because you know, as well as I do, that chances are the higher that uni is, the less like you're gonna. You know what I mean? I don't want to work with that person.
No, the reason why I'd say that is because there's too much weight that got put on those universities from like, oh, you've graduated from here, so you must really know your stuff. From older generations, which is complete tosh. Like again, I don't care what uni you went to. If you didn't go to uni, maybe you did go to one of those trash boot camps, but you really know what you're talking about. If you can prove it live in skill, and you're not trying to look at your screen and read the AI prompt on the left hand side of what it's processing, what I'm asking you. You can actually prove it. Then cool, welcome aboard. Let's get it done.
Yeah, but that's also because you didn't go to a tosh university.
No, it doesn't matter. Even if I went to Cambridge, they still have the same process.
I doubt it, Louis.
100%.
I think
that's who I am as a person.
Yeah, but you say that.
No. Even before I went uni,
I agree with you.
This is my principle of life. Like, I'd give anyone a chance if you've got the right tools to go for it, or you knew how to go about getting the stuff you didn't know. So cool. I don't know Python, but I've coded so much in Java, and I've done enterprise Java as well, and I've done Python, I've done C#. Cool. I would give you a bet. Even if you didn't have Python specifically, I wouldn't rule them out.
Yeah.
If you can prove the fundamentals in those other languages, like I would probably do a coding thingy in them and be like, well, what's your strongest language? They'd be like C#. Cool. We'll do it in C#. Yeah. Now write me some pseudocode. Cool. It's your pseudocode. Now write me some actual code. Produce me this.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's been before I went to uni and whatnot. I've still had the same approach, and I'd have the same approach now. Like I went to ManMet, so Manchester Metropolitan. So it's not the University of Manchester, but it's the other uni, the one that is not University of Manchester.
Although,
right?
Didn't we go? What did we go for the open day for ManMet? What did we went to Loughborough? What did we? No, me and you and Alex and Josh, I think it was. We went to Loughborough. Was it Leicester?
I went to Morpool.
But the one we went to, what did we... No, I didn't go to Manchester. I think I went to Loughborough. I went to Northampton. We went to Northampton, Louis. No, Northampton. No, not Northampton. Sorry, Nottingham. We went to Nottingham. Louis. We went to Nottingham. I've got a
Is that when we got the train down?
Somewhere. Yes,
up. Well, the train up. Yeah, up. Sorry.
We went to Nottingham. And then I went to Loughborough because I was like, sports. And then I got there and they showed me their department, Louis. I was like, what the hell is this? Louis, our IT suite for 2 classes was like double what they had for computer science. And I was like, you're okay. I see what's going on here.
Yeah, but they're a sports college, right?
I know. But that's my point.
I keep saying college after that, Louis, after that episode that we had with college.
I play devil's advocate. I disagree with something you say, but then I prove your point at the same time. So now I know if I'm hiring somebody, they can't for tech. If I see Loughborough. If I see Loughborough, I'm sorry. I'm like, I've been there.
Hang on. But if you rate it though, maybe there's only like 5 people that do computer science, and they got the absolute best engineers out of those professors.
I'd still interview them, Louis. How about that? But subconsciously, I'd be like, okay. I've seen the facilities, big man. I've seen your facilities.
Yeah, if they were saying stuff like, if they were in the interview, they were like, oh, it's the leading world class computer science courses in the UK. So I'm like, yo, you're trash. What are you talking about? But they were like, look, it was mainly
my point was like
towards science, sports science.
Yeah, but like, come on, man. Like, Louis, our IT suites in high school were bigger than the whole department. This is like 5 years ago, right? No, like, wait, this is 10 years ago. 9 years ago.
Yeah, a decade ago, bro.
So I'm hoping University of Loughborough that you've improved your STEM facilities. But I mean, that's not your prerogative, right?
They probably haven't because it's not their.
I hope they have. But like, they don't have. That's not. You don't come here for that. But unless you're imagine you're.
No.
Go ahead.
By that same principle, you want catering colleges to start offering programming courses.
Louis.
Nah, bro, what am I going to do?
No, this is different. I'm going to back this. Hang on. Let me think about it. It's different. If you're an athlete...
Got him.
Right? if you're an athlete for a specific sport, but you like tech, they're going to offer you a scholarship. But you want to do IT, like as your subject matter, right?
Can you do that? Can you get a scholarship in like sports?
Most people
do like computer tech, computer science then.
Yeah.
And what, you get a degree in both? How does it work?
No, you're just being an athlete, but you're.
So you have to play and like be on the show.
Yeah, you got to play for Loughborough. Right. One, that's a must, and then two, you got to play for like Team GB, especially if you're British. Like,
I thought you would have to do the sponsorship in the sport. You'd have to use a degree in support. You couldn't do computer science.
No, but what you study doesn't matter.
I thought it did. I thought that's what the sponsorship depended on.
They don't care. If you're an elite athlete, Olympic level, just stay in school. We don't care what you're studying.
I don't know. I feel like it does.
In fact, the easier it is, the better, because then you can focus on your sport. That's just how it is. I don't know.
We have to find someone that's done it. Because I couldn't tell you.
Also, America is different to the UK, so I'm actually not too familiar with the UK.
Wow, this guy's bringing American into this.
Let me land. But I mean, why would it be different? Regardless, you want them to be studying in your university. You want the best of the best. And you do not, like, on paper we're going to say we care about what you study, but reality is, Louis, we don't care what you study. Because you'll be forever an alumni.
Care for, like, Loughborough. It'd care for Loughborough where it is, like, sport-orientated, but not, I don't know, somewhere else that's not sport-orientated.
Even them. Like, they have, if you have a good sports facility and you want athletes to come and study at your university, you're not going to care too much about what they're studying. You just want them to be there. You're going to help them be the best athlete they want to be. And they have to get an education because that's part of the program. So it's like, actually, I'm not going to say a subject matter because that'll be offensive to some people. But there is subjects like, hey, do you want to take this? And then,
It seems a little backwards though. Like, we'll pay for you as long as you play with us, but we don't care about what degree. Surely they'd want them to go through the sports. They're going to be studying at the uni
regardless. Well, yeah, you would want that. But I mean, if somebody has like, if Mo Farah comes to you at 21 years old, right, and he's like, I want to study tech at Loughborough, you're not going to say, nah, mate, you have to study computer. I mean, you have to study medicine, or I don't know, physical. What's it called? Physical
education.
Yeah, no, not physical education. Like
what? PE.
I was thinking sports science or like what's the other word? Physiotherapy is what I was trying to say. I'm having mumbling words, whatever. If he really wants to, like, what are you gonna imagine? He says no, I'm not gonna study here now because I want to really study IT. Someone's gonna say yes, Louis, to him studying IT while being Mo Farah.
I feel like we need to find out from people that have gone some.
I don't have to look this up, Louis. Like, come on, man.
Nah, I'm gonna defer that until we get some answers.
All right, I'm misinforming you. Is that what it is?
Yeah, you are misinforming me. Objection.
No, I'm telling you.
Badger in the witness.
Again, I don't know about the UK as much, but actually, no, I do. Do I? I know a few athletes that study computer science, but have got a scholarship at the uni for sports.
Wait, now you're saying scholarship. You're saying sponsorship. There's a difference.
Yes, there's a difference. I never said sponsorship.
Yeah, you did at the beginning.
That'd be worse. Sponsorship. They don't care. They wouldn't care.
Yeah, you said sponsorship at the beginning.
Care where you go, as long as you wear our badge and our emblem, your tracksuit.
Right,
mate. You don't have to study either. Like, just whatever. What you need, we don't care. But a scholarship is like you have to be a scholar at something, right? We don't care what that is. They don't, Louis. They don't care. I'm telling you, man. They do not care.
I'm 90% certain you were saying sponsorship. That's why I was like, "What's going on?" But a scholarship.
If I said sponsorship, I'd double down on my case. A sponsorship would not care. Nike doesn't care what you study. They don't. If you study, that's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
hey, we got a smart athlete on our hands. But honestly, hang on. How many hours do you doing in school? Oh, you might have to actually drop out. Like, that's what Nike will be saying. Like, we looked at your hours and we need you to do more promo. You haven't posted much on Instagram, actually. And do you want us to double your pay or not? So, I'm just saying, is your education that important? You can always study when you retire. You'll be like 35 when you retire, mate. You can go back to uni. That's what Nike were telling you. They'll be telling you to actually drop out, focus on your sport, and then after, you can go study wherever you want. But scholarship,
you take ACL when you're done.
Yeah, mate, and it's gonna happen. It's just the nature of the job.
2 years in,
yeah, and then that's when they drop you. But scholarship, if you tear your ACL, Louis, they're still gonna fund the rest of your 2 years. Like, yeah, you know what? You're still a student, and you gave us 2 good years.
I don't know. It might be
Finish
in the
your
clauses,
degree.
you know. I've not done a scholarship. So I
Yeah,
can tell
I
you.
mean, I'd hope. Again, we need to get somebody on here. But
Hey,
I'd
man,
hope.
it's a dodgy world out there.
I'd hope. I mean, you're still a student, so then you'd just be a student. You might not get the
Hobbling
backing
around,
in
not
the
doing
last
the
year.
sport day.
And you might not get paid your scholarship, but you just go student finance, innit? Continue to finish your.
I don't know.
So, like, it's actually funny because it'd be more beneficial to get a scholarship because then at least you end up with an education. And if you studied IT because you love it, guess what? Now you have an IT degree and you can continue being an IT guy instead of having to do something that the uni forced you to do that you didn't want to do, but they made you do it because it's part of the scholarship. I do think you're right, though. I do think there is incentives for them pushing certain degrees to certain athletes because, again, it helps with their course, right? But I don't think they care that much, especially if you're elite. It's like, mate, we want your name here. Back to validation. We want a big name to study here. Whatever you want to make, culinary arts. We don't care. We hope you become a Michelin star chef. That was thoroughly
Best pastry
amazing.
chef we've ever seen.
Yeah, and he broke the 400 meters world record. Mate, serving on the track and serving in the kitchen. You know what I mean?
Cooking in
That's a
both
tennis
sets.
joke. That'd have been funny as a tennis joke, but it's whatever. It's whatever.
I got it. I just didn't think it was that funny.
Hey, someone thinks it's funny. But what was the whole point in this?
Couldn't tell you, lad. Just get a sponsorship.
NordVPN,
Hey, man.
link in description, support, all of that jazz.
Check it out.
Yeah.
I can't even remember how we got here. It's about hiring. You're saying about...
No, it was about what kind of degree would you do, or how would you get into the industry? I think if it's work related or it helps you try to. Back to my thing, we weren't forced to work or do internships, but it was it was heavily pushed onto us because it was like there's no way my degree, my course. We didn't have to work.
Oh, right. You...
But they kept on like, hey, you need to do an internship while you're here. It's just, your hours are going to stack up. We don't care. If you want to get a job at the end of this, it's just got to be done. Because it wouldn't just be you. You're going to end up with, you're going to realize very quickly that a lot of people have done internships or work experience in the industry as well. So it's like, you're going to be competing with 50% anyway. But if you don't do it, you're going to be competing with like 90%. So it's like, everybody's got a degree, mate. Tick boxes, learn, work experience, and hopefully you have a better chance. So if you can do, because that was just 1 year, right, of my second year. So if you can work for 4 years while studying, you come out of it with a 4-year experience and a degree. That's mad. That's how it should be. But back to what you're saying, you were the first crop, and even at that time, apprenticeships were like laughed at. Remember, like the year before. Everybody's like, right, you're going to do an apprenticeship. What were you thinking, mate? And now it's like...
they weren't like they are today now,
Don't get a degree. Don't just study. You should do an apprenticeship.
Do a degree apprenticeship, get both.
Do a degree, but best of both worlds.
Yeah, I think most of it has basically transitioned into that. There are like people that, if you haven't got the right qualifications, then you could do apprenticeship and then move on to a degree apprenticeship afterwards to have the right qualification. Because obviously, like doing a degree apprenticeship, I had to make sure I had the right creds to even get into the degree part, right?
Yeah.
It's not just a case of you get onto the apprenticeship, you can do a degree. Certain people didn't have the right, what was it, UCAS points, right? They didn't have enough UCAS points to join. They had to do like specific pieces of like write up, like actual like coursework beforehand and get that approved and make sure it meets the mark before they could even join. So like some of them were like a couple of weeks late into like lectures because they weren't actually like green lighted to actually
Also, you shouldn't... Foundation years. A lot of people couldn't make it into my course, but you could just do a foundation year.
What? Yeah, the first year, yeah.
No, like it's like a year 0. So like if you don't get enough UCAS points or you didn't get the grades for the subject you want, there was a lot of unis that would offer a foundation year where you just do like, I don't know. I don't actually know how it works, but like you do like half of the first year right, to prove that you can keep up with the speed, I guess, or you are like, you'd be okay. It's like they test if you can do well in first year. Instead of you doing A levels again, you can do a foundation year. It's at the uni, and then like you get back in, or you'd get in to that course.
I'm talking about the people that like left the GCSE and don't have A levels. They don't have the next level after GCSE.
Yeah. Right, that's like 4 years. Yeah, that's it's fair.
Context that's is different. Yeah,
they're very different. Yeah, but that's an option too. But you're right. Then at that point, who doesn't have a GCSE, Louis?
No, I'm saying they've got GCSEs, but they don't have the A levels, so they don't have UCAS points.
Oh, right, yeah. Then apprenticeship is going to be, but you can do. You can do college, and you can get certain
you have to go to college, certain levels to get you to the same point of doing A levels. Yeah. But sometimes that takes you longer than 2 years, like if you did A levels.
But A levels is 2 years, so your college will also take 2 years or more.
No, some of them you have to, if you don't have, like, with the GCSEs, you have to do, like you said, the foundation year, and then some of them you would do, like, 2 years on top of that to get the equivalent of what you've got at level.
Well, yeah, if you missed out on GCSEs, you're going to make up for that time.
No, even if you had the right GCSEs,
okay.
Some of those courses at college, you have to do, like, year 0. So you've got the GCSEs, you do year 0, then you have to do, like, 1 and 2. So you have to do 3 years.
So you're saying the same thing I'm saying for the foundation year for a degree, but just starting from A level, so you're getting...
Yeah, but it's at college. It's like...
Yeah, so you're getting that week... That foundation or year 0 is to catch up on the GCSEs didn't have to get you into a college course that's A level equivalent. And the same thing can be done if you didn't get the right A levels or UCAS points for a degree, but you still want to go in. They'll offer you a foundation year to make up for that lacked 2 years or
sometimes,
lacked
not
skills.
Always, but yeah.
Not always, no. You have to you have to prove that you're worthy.
Depends on how many spaces and stuff as well. Like if there's 500 people fighting for 60 places, as you say, to do one.
And sometimes you might not have the qualifications, but there's enough space and they've got to fill a quota and they'll just let you in.
Nah,
you're still paying. Not. Louis, look it up. No. Look this one up, please. No. I'll wait.
What do you want me to do?
How many like unqualified students get let into programs in the UK? Hint, I'm one of them. I'm not. I had enough. Did I? Yeah, I did. There's also wedding to Nottingham. Couldn't get into Nottingham. That was my foundation year, Louis. I was like, yeah.
So, hang on. Are you talking about people that didn't qualify for their original one, so they then got like their like backup or whatever?
No, not through clearing. The same uni let you in that you wanted to go to. Yeah, going through clearing is different. Then you find what your level is, right? I'm not saying
so
that.
What?
That's
say
legal.
They asked,
that's allowed.
So the qualification. Say they said you have to give AAA, so you have to have 3 A levels at AAA, right?
They're gonna take someone that's like they're gonna let. Yeah.
Yeah, BBB, cool. Yeah, they do that all the time. I know that.
That's all I'm saying.
But not someone that got DDD.
Well, yeah, that's
what I'm talking about. People that didn't meet the qualification during getting in.
Gotcha.
But they will give based on like specific merit and whatever for different people. Like they might want A star AA, but you get AAA. It's like, cool. All right. It was a specifically dumb year that they changed the exams. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, or like your statement was really nice, so we think you're smarter than your grade showed you.
Well, I don't know if you still got DDD and they wanted A.
No, I'm talking about if you got AAA for an A star. Yeah. Actually,
well, I don't know. There's a big difference.
How many? What's the lowest discrepancy? Because I'm pretty sure
there won't be data on that because it's completely up to how many people applied.
Wouldn't release that data.
Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense. Because it would be how many people applied, how many spaces do we have, how many people do we have funding for, how many people are actually applying for this, how many people can we accept? Are we trying to take on more people? Are we taking on less people?
No, I'm saying the example was, the context was, they have spaces but they haven't filled them. So now how far back do you just go to the next one, right? So if you're, let's just forget
I don't know. I wouldn't always want to fill numbers though.
Louis,
fill in half your course with people that didn't meet the cut.
Louis,
So you talking about A star AEA and you only get like AAA, or are you talking about A star AAA and they give the DDD guy
A star, right?
Yeah,
couldn't fill it, so they put in AAAs. Couldn't fill it cool. Still. So now we're getting some AABs or ABBs. Couldn't fill it still. You're putting them BBBs in.
Nah.
You're putting them in.
No, because it would depend on what you're learning in that. So if you're going to this specific college and you know that you have to have known and passed it at this level to be able to understand what the hell's going on. To put like someone in there that gets all Bs, maybe they just had a bad year of tests. I don't know. You have to work it out. And I think some of them, they allow you to do like pre-admission tests. So they would work out like, hey, look, can you do the introductory to this course is worth of, say it was maths. Can you pass this paper and get like 70%? That's what
foundation year is. It's just a year of that.
No, I mean pre-admission test. Not doing a year. It's just like they'll do like an admission test.
Do you understand what a foundation year is though? Because it is literally that, but just a year long. To like
no, but I'm not talking. I know what a foundation year is, but they wouldn't ask you to do that.
Oh, you sounded like you didn't. I was like,
no. So you would say you did BBB and you managed to convince them, but look, I just had a bad year with the exams. I am capable of doing this, and maybe they're like, cool, sit this exam.
Yeah.
Make sure it gets marked in the next 2 weeks, and we'll decide.
So
but Donnie that gets BBB, say you go into a uni and they want A star, A star, A, so A star, 3 A stars, and you only get all Bs. That's not just a case of you just missed A's.
No,
you're
clearly.
2 less.
Yeah.
So it's a question of how did you have a bad exam? Were they all bad exams?
Okay, but
did you just miss A's?
Yeah.
So that's the point. You could say, hey, look, for every single one of these, I was 1 mark off an A, so I'm only 1 beneath, and they might be like, cool. But if you got all Bs and you only just got Bs, they'd be like, look, you probably aren't cut out to be able to study this. Like, if you can't pass the exams that we're expecting you to be able to pass, there's no point in putting you through this course.
So, let's say they get a massive crop of BBBs trying to get into an AAA, or A star, AA, whatever, and they all do this admissions test, and half of those people prove that they're good enough for that test, they pass the test.
Cool,
and they let them in or not. Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say.
You let those halves in.
Let them in. You fill it.
I just agreed with you 20 minutes ago. What do you mean?
The tone, Louis, it sounds like you're disagreeing with me.
No, so the ones that could pass the test. So that's what I'm saying. The ones that passed the test, but the ones that didn't pass the test and they still got the BBBs,
well, obviously not, because it's like, mate, we gave you a second chance.
Yeah, that's what I said 20 minutes ago.
Cut the cake. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. So you'd find a way to fill in that quota.
No.
They'll find, Louis, you just
I wouldn't fill the quota. I would be... That's what I just said. I wouldn't fill the quota. I'm not trying to fill 200 seats.
You're filling the quota.
No, there's a difference. No,
that
there's a
test
difference.
would not happen if enough people with A star AAs applied and got in.
No.
Yeah. Well, you gotta fill it. You gotta find a way to fill it.
Nah, at a faculty level,
seats
I
need to be filled.
To fill. No. If there's 200 spaces, there's 200 spaces, and I had to fill them with people that wouldn't pass it, of like 100 people. 1, that set them up for failure, but 2, that set up the uni for failure. Like, if half of your year can't even pass first term exams, what does that say about you as a uni?
That is a factor that they have.
So they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So 100 people in your course for that year, cool. I would accept that. I wouldn't try to fill it with people that weren't cut out to do it.
Are you ready for a different conversation, Louis? But on that topic.
Go on. I sound mad triggered, but I'm not.
Diversity and inclusion, Louis.
Oh, man.
Are you filling in those seats?
This bugbears.
No, not today. Not today. Not today.
I sounded triggered before. Now I'm going to sound triggered.
Yeah. Wait, what's the E? DIE? What's the E?
Diversity, inclusion.
No, inclusion is an
exclusion. No, I said diversity, inclusion, exclusion. I don't know.
Equity.
No, you've made that up.
I've just Googled it, mate. I didn't just make it up. I'm on Wikipedia.
What are you searching for?
Because we know that we all say diversity and inclusion, but the E, this DEI, right? The E is equity.
No, it can't be. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. DEI. i.e., some person made it up, didn't they? Are you looking at the American version of this?
Well, yes, technically.
Wow, this guy, man. What does the UK call it?
Same thing.
UK calls it
the
D&I.
UN calls it DNI. DNI.
Yeah, diversity and inclusion. Where's this equity coming from? What's this in America? Capitalism. What's going on?
Well, that's because it's work and education, right? But for education, I guess equity doesn't really play as much of a part as a student, not as an employee.
Imagine
Again,
your uni was like, "Yo, we'll give you
equity?
like shares in our public company that's running this. You don't pay for your fees.
Hey,
We'll give you equity in our establishment.
we'll give you. Can you get publicly funded? No. What university is public, right?
No, the class is charities, I believe,
Interesting.
because all of the money gets reinvested back into running it. So upgrades, stuff like that. Like no one takes a cut.
Interesting.
I think that's how it is in the UK. I think in America there are private organizations where they could technically take a cut. So it's like charities now. There's like CEOs that get paid millions of dollars. They take that money out of the donations, right?
Yeah.
Kind of the same principle. So people paying their fees. That's what the staff and whatnot gets paid, and obviously they get grants from the government and whatnot. So like, hey, look,
Yeah.
get more STEM in, and we'll give you more money, and blah blah blah. Are we not having the diversity and inclusion conversation?
Not now, no.
Why not?
Because I feel like that's a whole hour, maybe two. Actually, it's,
We can
it's
wrap it
conversation
up
forever.
in 4 minutes. No, we
It's
can
a
wrap it up
conversation
in 4 minutes.
forever.
4 minutes. Let's go.
Rap what? Diversity and inclusion.
It's a wrap.
No. I've also got. I'd get triggered too. No, we'd get emotionally. We don't get triggered because it's an emotional point. What I will say though, actually no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say nothing. How's Bitcoin doing?
You know what? Let's not do this. I'd rather do the diversity and inclusion conversation than talk about crypto.
Well, you're gonna say something. You know what?
I was gonna say I don't think most people understand what diversity and inclusion is.
No, they don't.
I think even like the people that are trying to push diversity and inclusion don't know what diversity and inclusion is, which is the irony of the whole situation. Yeah, it's all effed up.
So no, we'll have an episode on that. Absolutely.
Is this going to be an episode?
Why not? We had a whole hour about workforce and how to get education.
No, I've just been triggered for the last hour.
That's the best of you, mate. I know how to get the best out of you, Louis.
What do you mean the best of me? It's not the
I know how
best
to get
of
the best. When you're triggered, that's when, the perfect mix of smart and emotion.
No, there's a perfect mix of smart and emotion when I'm not triggered.
No, that's just
You
being
just
calculated.
pouted me out to be... Yeah, because I am calculated. You just painted me out to be a bad picture there. Bad picture. Painted me in a bad... You painted me
I
in a...
think you painted a
Words.
great picture. You can look at yourself differently, Louis.
I think to say someone... You only get the best out of someone when they're triggered, that's...
No.
That's crazy.
Not best out of them isn't... I meant best content.
Content. Okay, content out of them. Cool, I agree with that. Yeah.
But even best... Like, it's still...
Nah,
Like,
get the
there
best
is-
out
no,
of
no,
them.
no.
That's
Are we?
crazy.
Wait, what are we arguing here? What are we arguing here?
Oh, we're saying the best of someone... You can only get the best of someone when they're triggered.
Not emotional. Let's use a different word.
Okay, emotional. I don't know, but then how much of it's emotion versus like...
But to me, that's the best. If you can have the two. If you're just being emotional, I don't want that. You're being emotional. If you're just
that's what
being
I'm saying. What's the
smart and
ratio?
calculated,
What's the ratio?
I don't want that either. 50-50.
All right, cool. 50-50, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the best of everybody when you can have both.
I don't know, actually, maybe 50% emotional is a bit too much.
No, I think that's true.
You want some emotion, but you don't want
balance.
too much.
That's an opinion. I feel like
It
when
depends
you,
about
when
the
you got-
topic.
I think any topic to me. Also, if you're very aware when you're being emotional and when you're being calculated as well, that's also a benefit.
Because you can... So if half of what you say is just emotional, how much of that is
but-
actually contextual relevant to what you're talking about?
Mate, most of us always talk emotionally. We just mask it as intellect because you don't want someone to say you're speaking from emotion. But like everything we do is not based on facts. Most of what we care about and the facts that we've gathered are based on how we felt about something. So we want it. You know what I mean? Like you have biases. We all have biases.
I think bias and emotion is different.
No, but I mean like your bias tends to be emotional. So whatever information you've gathered was fueled by that.
Bias,
fact or not.
Emotion. I'd argue it's the opposite. Your emotion makes you biased, not your bias makes you emotional.
No, I meant like your bias then fuels or like controls what you gather and what you learn. And that bias comes from the emotion. I agree with that part, yeah.
Yeah, it comes from the emotion, yeah.
Yeah. So then, you know what I mean? If like someone slaps you, you don't like them.
Knocked out, what do you mean?
Because they wear purple caps, right? Now...
Wait, someone slaps someone because they wear a purple cap?
No, they're wearing a purple cap.
Right.
So you go ahead and start learning about why people with purple caps slap people.
This is so bad of an example.
No, I think it's a great example. People do that. Anytime you have a heated conversation with somebody, stop the conversation, right? And then just ask simple questions about like, oh, what was the first time you ever felt this way? I promise you someone with the purple cap slapped them. I promise you, Louis.
That's PTSD. They need to get that. They need to speak to a therapist.
Everything we do is one because of coincidence. Half of it coincidence. The other half is because something emotional triggered us to pursue something. That's great. It can be good. It can be bad. It can be evil. It could be philosophical, whatever. But we're human beings. We're not computers. We don't just wait. Well, technically, the world wants us to be, right? They want us to wake up and then tag us with like, what you're going to do and be like, this is your job. Go for it. But we tend to shift from, we have options. So it depends on like what emotions were given to you, why you gravitated towards this. And that can be the same with like other means. Like, oh, I really liked baking as a child because I used to do it with my uncle and now I'm a chef.
Oh, you said baking. If we said bacon, I was like, what?
But,
now I'm a chef, so bacon, yeah? I was confused for a second. Baking, yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, emotional intelligence.
Yeah. That's my, like you need to have, I can't, if it's just IQ, I'm not doing it. Not doing it.
IQ and EQ.
You need some EQ in there. And if I bet, again, just being aware of why you're saying things and what got you there is just a nice base already. So if someone in the conversation can like tell you like, okay, this is coming from this, but it's regardless, I've done the research, but I'm just letting you know. So then you understand like, okay, half of this probably is from emotional, but it's been facts though. So it's like, okay,
facts is in like proper facts, or facts is in like
just whatever. But it's up to you, right? Facts is just what you believe at the point until you research it yourself.
Facts is not what I have to believe. Facts is either
you know what I'm
factual
saying,
or not.
Luke. You know what I'm saying. Yes,
So
facts are facts. But
is it facts?
if you
is in like you
are
say that's
believing
facts.
what someone's saying in front of you, you might say, right, that's facts. So, but then you go home and you're like, hang on, that's not facts. That wasn't facts at all. That's DEI, Louis. DEI.
You in your American characters, D and I.
D and I, whatever.
Isn't that
you
equity
have to
in
go
this?
at the beginning, Louis, because people
What's the
forget.
equity, emotion?
People forget. Exactly, right? People forget how we got to where we got to and why it exists. And that joke is based on a lot of truth that why this concept exists today. And if you don't go if you don't go all the way back, then you can't understand it now. If you don't, you know what I mean? Why is there an issue with diversity and inclusion, Louis, in America and most Western worlds?
Why?
Yeah. Because a lot of people shouldn't have been here, but they are. So make it equal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Au contraire. I learned that word because of Jay-Z. It means on the contrary. I didn't know that until like yesterday, which I should have known. How's your Italian going, by the way?
Not bad.
That's also why. If you want to talk about DEI, I'm gonna bring everything to the table. That's why we're gonna be here for like 6 hours.
What does my Italian got to do with it?
A lot. Nothing. No Italian part. Because you're still thinking about the last thing I said.
No, I'm just thinking about how we even end this. That's what I'm thinking about.
You can just end it, Louis. That's it. You want to end it? End it. Also,
No,
hello. Welcome to episode. What episode was this? Episode 17.
Louis gets triggered.
We're going to flip it, right? We'll just add this to the front. Or at the
Louis
end.
doesn't get triggered.
Just don't. Yeah.
No, we'll leave it to the end. Welcome.
Emotional EQ plus IQ. All right, episode 17.
Wait, hold up. The Viva process, what you talked about, long established part of the examination process for a research degree. So that would be for a PhD.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wait, you don't do research for masters?
I don't think so. I think it's just you have to do more work.
Yeah, it's more work.
Or maybe it's like a half thesis. I'm not sure.
No. It's
maybe
a thesis.
It's a thesis.
It's not. Yeah, it's not research though. Well, I mean, you do research, but it's not research. You know what I mean? Like you research stuff, but it's not research. Am I? You can speak too, Louis. Just laugh at me.
You do research for it.
You know, it's not. Because then, why isn't there Viva for masters? You do research, right? Also, why wouldn't there be one for undergrad? You do research too. Did we not do research? I care about words, Louis, and what they mean. You do research at every level. Research. But it's not
you do.
a research.
It's not geared on research. Research is a part of it to make up.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Do research.
That'd be pretty cool, though, defending your... Actually, I have a few friends that have got PhDs that had to defend their work. Imagine, like, you go, like, a bunch of years...
It's crazy.
And
You just turn up and be like, yo, I don't agree with this.
Yeah. No, they turn up, like, we don't agree with it. Make us agree.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, they're like, nah, don't agree still. Sorry, mate. And there were some of them were like, you know what? I was skeptical at first, but now I do agree.
Sure.
I think... Yeah. You want to do a master's? Or are you done with education?
It's tempting. I'd even do a PhD, to be honest, in the right...
If it's the right course. Let's end this. What episode is it, Louis? Episode 17?
I don't even know. Is it?
I think it's episode 17.
Nah, it's not. Alright, we should probably stop saying that. We should probably stop saying the number. Because what if we didn't release this next?
Yeah, that's true.
So this is episode, I don't know.
Don't know the episode number, and we don't know the name either. You'll see what you see, and it can change, and it won't matter because we didn't mention it at all in this episode, and that's actually perfect, Louis. I love that. Standalone episodes. That's what I wanted from the beginning. That's what we're working towards.
Why didn't you do it from the beginning then?
Timeless, because we're idiots. Bro, we're learning on the job. We're learning on the job. We didn't have the qualifications, and we didn't have the stamp. But we're proving 6 months in.
You let emotional play into this. You let emotions get involved.
Thank you for listening.
It's because you didn't get a degree from this uni.
Hope you learned something, and I hope it triggered some other thoughts. You know, so you can have conversations with people around you, and you can question.
Trigger other people, get the emotion out of them.
But good triggering, not bad triggering. Like trigger emotional and intellectual conversations. Don't trigger hate and angst or get punched in the face. Although, like Louis believes, sometimes it is worth getting punched in the face, you know. And purple hats.
How do I know that? What?
You like people getting punched in the face.
I like people getting punched in the face.
Sometimes when you push people's boundaries, it's good to know, as a human.
He said it's good to punch people in the face.
No, it's good to get punched. So you know, like, okay, maybe that was too far. I need to be a better human being to not get reactions that get punched.
Quicker feedback loop. That's what you're trying to say.
The quicker.
There needs to be a quicker feedback loop.
Yeah. That's funny.
You know the phrase. Look around and find out.
All right. I need to end this. Thank you for listening. It's been Intechlectual. Follow us on the socials. We have Instagram is at Intechlectual. Twitter X is Intech_lecture. YouTube is at Intechlectual as well. The website, www.intechlectual.com. intechlectual.co.uk. And we're on all platforms. The web, you can go to podcasters.spotify.com/intellectual, Apple, Spotify, YouTube Music, Pocket Cast as well under Intechlectual. And
wait,
catch you in
you
the
missed
next
one.
Which one?
No, go to our Linktree. Linktree
Oh,
/
and Linktree,
Intechlectual.
yes. You know,
It's got
let's just
links
put
to
a
everything on
Linktree
there.
in the, and everything's there. It's a Linktree.
In the description, yeah.
It's in the description.
Yeah,
Everything's below. You see it.
It's easy.
All right. So, and thank you to our sponsor, NordVPN. Link in the description as well. If you need a VPN, we highly recommend we use it and we trust them. If we want to use it ever, it's there. If not, thank you for listening. It's been Intechlectual. I'm Emmanuel and joined with
Louis.
And until the next time.
Triggered Louis. You got triggered Louis.
Emotional and emotionally intellectual. Emotionally intellectual.
There was no emotion
Balance.
involved in it. I was just triggered.
Just how the
I
word
was just
should be.
triggered.
Balanced. You were balanced, Louis. I can
I
get you
wasn't
triggered. I'm not
balanced.
going to do that, but you weren't triggered.
Nah, I weren't triggered.
You weren't triggered. We'll have a triggered episode one day. We need to do that. We said we'd do that. Have like what triggers me. We've had like pockets of segments, but
We'd
we've
be
never had
here
like a
for
whole.
like 4 years if I did my
Yeah,
what
yeah,
triggers
that's
me.
true. We would.
But it's
Louis
cool
loves
though.
everything
Like,
in the
I
world.
don't care. I just walk
Yeah.
away from that. Yeah, bye.